Yeah. So you guys can see my screen and hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So now I will be talking about like what are the different functions in Power BI. So a few to mention at a broader level. We have date and time functions, we have logical functions, we have text functions, we have statistical and mathematical functions, right? So these are the main functions that we use under each of these umbrella, right? So let's talk about few of the date and time functions. So these are functions under date and time functions. There might be few more, but these are the important ones. So that's why I have listed, and these are the syntax. So the first one to talk about is date, month, year. So what this function will do, you have to write like date of like month of the date. So if you have any date field and you want to extract month or year or the entire date, you want to keep it as is, or week, all those things. So using few functions you can do that. So to extract month out of date, there is a function called month. So what you can write is month, and in brackets you can pull that column of date in from which you want to extract month. Or similarly you can write for year also. So year of in the bracket date. So it will give you the year for that particular date. Similarly we can extract hour, minute, seconds also. So if you put date time field under this bracket and write hour, minute, or second, like in case you want to extract hour, then you have to write hour bracket date time, or minute bracket date time, or second bracket date time. I will show you few of the examples doing in the actual Power BI, but right now I wanted to discuss first of all each of these, and then we will take few examples and then do it, the actual data inside the Power BI dashboard. So this is how you can write, you can extract hour or minute or second from the date time field. Then there is something called today or now. This is important because uh, uh, if you want to actually have current date, which will be dynamic, right? Like every day if you refresh your dashboard, you want your current date to appear, then you will use this function which is called as today and then two brackets, or instead of that you can use now and two brackets. So what it will return, it will return the date, or the like the current date. If let's say today is 25th December, for you guys I think it's 24th December, right? So whatever, so it will return that particular date if you use this function, right? Then we have weekday or week number. So if you want to extract weekday, like which particular date, you Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like that, or week number, that means 1, 2, 3, 4 numerical number out of 7 number, which number you want to extract. So in that case you can use weekday or week number function, right? uh, then we have end of month, right? End of month is, let's say you want to extract last date of uh, each month, right? The date of last day of each month. So then you can use end of month. So what it will do, it will it wants two arguments. First is start date and second is month. So let's say you put start date as 25th December 2022 and month as 0. So that means it will pull 0 means for the current month, the month in which we are in, you pull the last date of that month. So it will give you 31st December 2022, right? If you put under month -1, so what it will do, it will look for the previous month, which is November month, and then it will give you the last date of November month. For that you will put the start date, whatever you want to put, right? And then we have date diff. In the date diff function, uh, it will give you the difference between two dates based on some interval. So interval is actually, you can put interval in any year or month or whatever you want, and then input two dates, two different dates, and we will get the date difference, right? So these are the basically few functions. I will show you few of the functions in the actual data set, and then if you have any questions, you can ask, or if you have any questions right now also, you can ask me. I'll show you few of the functions first, and then it will be easier for you guys to understand what we discussed, right? So let's say I want to create some date time functions, some columns using date time functions here in calendar lookup. So under calendar lookup, what I will do, I will right click and create one new column. Just a moment. Yeah. So we want to create a new column which is called as day of week. I want to know uh, what is the day for a particular week, what is the day we are in. So I will write day of week, and then we will use the weekday function that we discussed. So as soon as you write any function and uh, write like opening bracket, then it will already like it, there will be one pop-up happens and it will prompt you like what is the syntax of that particular function, right? So for weekday, what they want is they want two argument. The first argument is date and the second argument is return type. So I want to look into the date, and then I want to extract the weekday from that date. So I will type date over here. Under date, you will see these are the date functions, but we don't want date functions. We want date column from this table. So instead of writing date, you could have written calendar. So what will happen under calendar? There are multiple columns out here, right? So from here you can pick up this. So the syntax is in such a way that it will first take the table name and then it will take the column name, right? So weekday is a function, opening bracket, and then you have to pass the first argument, which is date. So date column is the name of the date column is date only. So it is picking date from where? From the calendar lookup table, AW calendar lookup table, right? Now there are as soon as you write date, it this window will open wherein they will tell you to mm, uh, to select date, day, month number, month, quarter number, quarter, year. So what it does is this is a kind of shortcut in which there are two ways to write it. I will talk about this later on. I will show you how this works. For now, just you can, this is optional. If you want to select anything, you can select. If not, you can't. You don't have to. So just don't worry about this. For now, we will not select anything. I'll talk about this, what this one does. And then you press like you have inputted the first argument, and then you have to put the return type, which is 123, right? So what does 123 means? So uh, if I look into one, uh, you can see here, like if I put comma, there are three things that you can see, right? One, two, three. So if I select one, right, they will, you can see this means Sunday is equal to 1 through Saturday is equal to 7. So it will, what it will do, it will tag Sunday as 1 and Saturday as 7. If I select 2 instead of 1, then what will happen? There are different meaning for this one. So it will treat Monday as 1 through Sunday is equal to 7. So what does it mean is it will start the counting the dates from Monday till Sunday. So it will tag Monday as weekday number 1, Tuesday as weekday number 2, likewise others, right? Similarly, like if I instead of that, if I mention 3, so it will treat Monday as 0 through Sunday is equal to 6. So it will not have 1 to 7, it will have 0 to 6. So there are different numbering options that they have given. The way you want to select, you can select. So I'll select 2, uh, which will have like Monday as 1 through Sunday as 7. Anything is right. Uh, I will select Monday to Sunday as 1 to 7 and then close it, hit enter since we are done with the formula. And what will happen, it is giving me, if you see, under day name you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, right? So you see, for the Monday ones it has taken as weekday as 1, and then it is going till 7, and then it's repeating. So that's what we wanted to create. So the day of week column you have created using a DAX function which is called weekday, and then these are the two arguments, right? And this is one of the calculated columns because we had right clicked and selected calculated columns, right? So since this is a calculated column, it is appearing in your table and you can see it like it's going from 1 to 7. So any questions here? Anyone?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
So in the syntax, I didn't see anything where it suggested numbers. It just said uh, something returned. Can you go back to it? The day
Okay.
of the week, and then you did weekday.
Yeah.
Can you hover over whatever syntax that you wrote, and then I think it'll tell us something.
Yeah. So
Okay,
a
see at the very
typical,
top.
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
you have
I
two.
don't see where it suggested the numbers. Where did you get those numbers from? Are we supposed to? I mean, now I'm aware, but how are we supposed to know what those numbers were? Like one, two, three.
Okay, no, you have two
Oh,
arguments here, right? Date and return type. So first is
mhm.
date, wherein you will pick date from the table, whichever date you want to pick, right? Here we have this date. So I have pulled date, and then you have return type. So they have given also return type, and in the below line you can see what does it mean. So they are saying that return type is returns a number from 1 to 7, identifying the day of the week of the date. So return type is it will return number. So as soon as you write, you type date and press comma, it the 1 2 3 will pop up. I will show you. I have
Oh,
pressed this and then I have written comma, and then you can see 1 2 3
okay.
options out there, right? You
Yeah,
can
I
see
see. No, I
the
was
one
taking
two
a
three.
note, so I didn't see that one. Yeah, that's probably why.
Okay. So I selected two and hit enter. Okay. So this is how you will create a day of week. Any questions, anyone else?
I have a question.
Yeah,
What
please go ahead.
happened if you what happened if you choose the number 3? I missed that part.
Okay, no problem. So in number 3, what will happen? Instead of starting from 1 to 7, it will start from 0 to 6. So it will tag 0 to, I can show you. If you select 3, what will happen? Monday is tagged as 0, and Sunday is tagged as 6. So the numbering changes from 1 to 7 to 0 to 6. So it's defining Monday as 0th day instead of first day. So it depending on you, like whatever you want to show and how you feel comfortable, you can have it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And I think in order to select between one or two, it's better to check with the type of data that you have, right? Because some data sets like that will have the day Sunday as the first of the day, right? The first
Yeah,
day of the week. So yeah, okay, you have to understand that part too.
yes. So you can tag Sunday as first. If you want to, in some data set, you want to tag Sunday as first day, then you can select first over here. And then for that data set, what will happen? It will start up, it will show that Sunday is first day and the seventh day is Saturday. So your sometimes it happens, right? The fiscal week starts from Sunday and ends at Saturday, or your like the different kind of fiscal week. So in that case, you can have like this
Yeah.
one, right? Or two, depending on whatever is the uh, requirement, right? So similarly, we can,
So what is the fiscal data?
yeah, fiscal week and fiscal date is actually the same. So the way you define fiscal day or fiscal week is depends on like each of the organization, like different organization works differently. So there are two things. One is calendar week, one is fiscal week, right? So calendar weeks start from I can I show you here? No. So calendar week is from Monday till Sunday, right? So Monday will be the uh, first day, and then till Sunday will be the seventh day. Fiscal week can start from any other day. Like fiscal week is something which in which you will have from Saturday to maybe Saturday to how it will go, Saturday, Sunday, Monday until Friday, right? So fiscal week and calendar week is something which can be same or which can be different, but fiscal week is usually uh, for few of the companies it starts from Saturday and ends at Friday. So we call that as fiscal week, because in that case fiscal week and calendar weeks are not same, right? Calendar week we define from Monday to Sunday, and fiscal week if we are and the week we are defining from Saturday to Friday, so we call it as fiscal week, right? So those two things are different. The way you define your calendar differs in calendar week and fiscal week.
So can we define this within Power BI also? Like,
Yeah, you, so what you can do is you can tag instead of here day name, right? What you can do is right now your first day is starting from Friday. So the way you want to define this as uh, you want Saturday to be the first day, right? So you can define this Saturday as like first 2016 as Saturday, and then we can call it as fiscal. This is the day name, but we can define the fiscal week or uh, something like that as starting from um not here, but we can define fiscal week as first 2016 as Saturday. So that we can do. So that is depending on us, right? How we define it. So there are uh, few functions to define week or weekday, right? So we can adjust that in such a way that first 2016 looks like Saturday instead of Friday. So we can so basically to answer your question, we can have we can define fiscal week inside the calendar table itself, depending on in which organization you have, right? So some organization have fiscal year starting. Let's say in my last organization, the fiscal year started from March and ended in February, right? So the way the calendar table will be defined is in such a way that fiscal year 1 will denote March instead of January, right? Because calendar year starts from January till December, but for that organization fiscal year started from March till February. So the year 1 which we will extract, we will tag that starting from March instead of January.
yeah, got it.
I
Yeah,
think Aklilu has a question, Miha.
okay, 1 minute. So fiscal
Yeah,
year totally depends on the organization. Basically, my point is fiscal week and fiscal year is something the way your company defines your the year, or the month, right? Yeah, Aklilu, go ahead.
Yeah, can you show that? I mean, I try to ask. You put it like the two for return value to be start from Monday. So what happens if
Mhm.
there's no Monday on the report? So starting from Tuesday or from where does it start?
No, even then, if you don't have Monday, what does that mean? If you have only 6 days in the report?
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe you got 6 days or 4 days.
Okay. In that case, also, like, you can define 1, 2, 3, 4 starting from Monday. So in that case, what will happen, since Monday won't be there in your report, it will show Tuesday till Sunday, and it will have value from 2 to 7 and not 1. Because for according to our logic, 1 will be defined to Monday. And since Monday row is not there and the data set is built in such a way that you have Tuesday till Sunday, so it will tag day of week as 2 to 7, because 1 is ideally using this formula. 2, 1 is 1, the day of week 1 is uh, defining Monday, and we don't have Monday in the data set. So it will have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in your inside a day of week column.
Okay. Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any more question, anyone? Okay. So then I'll move ahead. So the next thing I wanted to discuss is, let's say I want to pull year. So what I
Oh,
can do
man,
is,
sorry. I have one question. I apologize.
okay, no, no, go ahead.
So, I was writing the syntax here for day of week, right?
Mm-hmm,
So there is the column name that we named day of week,
mm-hmm.
and then we were using the weekday function. Is that what that is? Yeah. And then the table, yeah, weekday in parentheses, we'll put the table name, right? Which is the calendar, yeah, calendar lookup, AW calendar lookup. And then there is that date. So is that just the actual syntax? That's how you
Yeah,
write.
this
You
is
have
the
to write
syntax.
date,
Yeah, this is the
or was that
syntax.
part of the column name?
No, so this is the syntax, and the syntax is written in such a way that your calendar lookup is the table and the date is the column. So basically, the
That's
first
what I want to say.
argument
The
is you
date is
need
the
to,
column name, right?
sorry.
The date, that date right there, right
Mhm,
next to the calendar lookup, and then
mhm.
in the square parentheses, that date is the column. It refers to the column, right? The name of the column, the
Yes,
date column.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so what we can have is, we can have we can create year out of these. Let me create uh, one calculated column in which we want to have year. Okay, so what I will do is, let's say, not here, let me do it somewhere else. I do it in customer lookup. Birth. Okay, so I'll click here. So I have birth here, and I want to birth date, and I want to see like which year they have. uh, Actually, a particular customer has the birth year, right? So if you see, we already have birth year column here, and how we had created this. So if you remember, last time we created it using the year, directly year field that is there under query editor, right? This is if you hover over birth year, you will not see any of the formula, because this was created using the date function that is there inside the query editor, right? So if I click here, there is nothing, no DAX function, right? But the same thing you can do using DAX function also. So we had discussed this multiple times, right? Like this sim one thing you can do in various ways inside Power BI desktop. If you want to look for year, either you can do it in query editor without writing DAX query, or you can write a DAX query here to extract year, or there is a third way which I'll talk about. So let's say I want to calculate year using DAX. The output will be same. Any way you choose to do a particular task, the output will be same. So here I want to, let's say, do birth year. I will name it as calculated column underscore CC. And then I will use this year function. And under year function, as soon as you hit open bracket, you will see there is something called date. Only one argument, and here they have mentioned that it will return the year of a date as a 4-digit integer. So the output of this function will be 4-digit number, which will denote the year of a particular date, right? So I want to pull birth year from here. As soon as you type birth, they will automatically start showing all those columns that is starting from birth. So if you see at the bottom, there are, sorry, there are two of the columns, birth date and birth year, right? I will select birth date because I want to extract year from the birth date. This is birth year that we had created in the Power Query editor, but right now we need birth date to extract year from that particular uh, column, right? I will close it. I'll hit enter. So this column has the same. If you match it with the birth year, it will match, because the purpose of, or the way we have defined are different, but the output will be same because both are denoting birth year, right? Or this can be done instead of using year. The third way you can do it is, which I will not recommend, but I just wanted to talk about it since that is popping up every time we write it. So the third way to do it is, if you directly select birth date, then this, you see there are multiple options out here, you after dot. So dot date dot month number dot month dot quarter number dot quarter dot year. So what it will does is, as soon as you select any one of these, right, let's say I select year, so what it will do, this means that we are asking Power BI to extract year out of birth date. So instead of writing function as year, you can write it like this also. Like, you want to extract year out of birth date, then write dot year. If you want to extract, there are other options also, right? So there are the options. If you want to extract day or month or quarter, anything, instead of writing function, you can directly select this dot year or dot month or dot day. It will give you the month of that date, or in this case, year of that date. So if I hit enter, it will, the output will not change, because both will give you same result. The way is different. Instead of writing the DAX function, which is year, we have selected this, right? So this is just, I wanted to show like what that is popping. But in the case you have actually taken written this function as year, you don't need to select anything, right, over there. Like, you don't need to select any dot or anything, that will be redundant. So whenever that pops up, you can ignore that, right? So the final formula is year of birth date. You can see it here, right? Which is matching with the birth year that you have. So these are two redundant ones. So I will remove this birth year column and have this birth year CC, because uh, as much as DAX we can use, it's better, right? So since both the columns are same, I'll delete birth year and have birth year CC in the final table, because why to have like two same columns in the same table, right? So any questions in creating this one? Any questions in using the year function?
So why would you want to use DAX as much as possible if there's an easier way of doing it? I mean, for us, it's probably very important that we use as much DAX as possible so we can get better at it or just get, more
Mm-hmm.
familiar with the DAX function and stuff and how to write it. But why would you, is that for everyone or are you just suggesting that for us that we
No,
should
no,
use
for
more DAX?
everyone. No, right now it might be difficult for you since this is the first time you are doing, but this, if you see, this is a very simple query, right? And if you are comfortable with writing DAX, then mostly you will feel writing DAX. So that's why I was telling. But this is not wrong. For the initial phase, if you want to use some like avoid writing DAX and use some options that is out there inside the Power BI tool, you can use that. But as much as you will write, you will get comfortable, and these are easier. Right now, it might look like why to write these functions. We will have to remember it, but slowly and gradually, it will become like very easy for you guys, and then you will feel that why to select the option if I can write birth year, like if I can write a DAX, because this is very simple, and then uh, you will have to write few of the DAX to create measures, right? So anyways, if you will start writing DAX, it will, these all will be very easier for you guys,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? If not, then we will do one more. I'll delete for now, like since these both are same column redundant data, so I'll delete these uh, columns, one of the columns from here. Okay. I will create one more, use one more function which is date diff, right? Let me actually create one of the column, and I'll write uh, current age. So what I will do is I will have date diff function, right? So under date diff, we have like three arguments. First is date one, second is date two, and then interval, right? Uh, so date one would be, since I want to calculate the date, how you will calculate, what you will do, the day we have or the customer has taken birth minus the day minus the current day we are in, right? And then the third argument is interval. So under interval you can define whether you want uh, your age to be displayed in year or month or hour, seconds, all those things, right? So we will discuss that. Like, so the first date is the I want to put birth date, right? So I will have first argument as birth date, then second argument as current day. So for current day, there is a function called today or now that we discussed, right? So today will give you the current date, and this will be dynamic. If we will work on this dashboard tomorrow, then it will show different result. Why? Because for that today will change. So this field is dynamic, and it will calculate your age basis on birth date minus the date you are working on this dashboard, right? So this field will be dynamic for everyone. If all of us will work today, it will show us the same result. If some of you will work like after 5 days or 10 days, this column will show the different result. Why? Because for that on that day, today will change, like today will be some other date, right? So in that case, the current age would be little bit different. So the way we are calculating current date is the difference between birth date and today. And then the third one is interval, right? So under interval, we want to show this as year, because age will always be year, like 5 years, 10 years, likewise, right? Instead of year also you have like multiple option you can see. So you can select day, hour, minute, month. So what it will show, if you select month, let's say your age is 10 years, so it will show 120, because in 1 year there are 12 months, so it will show 120 out of here, which will not actually give the correct like how will somebody will get to know? We usually look for age in years, right? So that's why I will select year. Otherwise, like we have multiple options which you can select depending on if there is some other requirement, right? So I will select year in this case and close parenthesis. So as soon as I hit enter, it starts showing me the age of that particular customer, which is like all these 74, 73, likewise. So this is one more example of using the date and time function that is available, right? Any questions, anyone?
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The today date from the server or where?
So today is something inbuilt function inside the Power BI dashboard, in which it will always look for the current date that is there in your system, right? So if your system is showing it as 24th December for you, so for you it will the today will pick 24th December. So basically today is taken from the system, from the and this is an inbuilt function that is there. So the way it works is whatever date is there for the current day, it will pick that.
Okay. Uh, yeah, present machine.
Yeah. Any more question?
Okay, so the date difference, the date diff function, I don't know how, I don't
How?
understand how it returned the current age. How is it showing us the age difference? What date difference is it showing us? The
What
only
does
thing it did is it returned.
the date difference means? It will difference is basically subtraction, right? And date difference means the
Okay,
subtraction of two dates, right? So I am subtracting birth date with today's date. So after
to get the age
subtracting,
of the customer, that particular customer or those customers, right?
so calculated column works row by row, right? It's like row by row operation. So it will pick the first row, which is this one, 11206. And the birth date for this particular person is on 24th 9 1948, right? So it will pick this birth date minus, it will take today, which is 25th December 2022. And then it will subtract it, and then it will give you result in the form of number of years. So if you subtract 2022 minus 1948,
I
you will
I get it.
see 74.
Okay, that's just one way of getting the actual birthday of the person. Is there another way that we could look up the age of a particular client, or another function, or another way that we can get the age of that person?
To get the age, you have to actually write some DAX, right? There is no direct field to extract age. You can extract year, you can extract month, you can extract like other date function, date values like time, sorry, hour, minute, second, all those. But to find age, age is a logic, right? How will you find age after subtracting the, because the birth date will differ for each of the each of the customers, right? So there is nothing, no function defined or inbuilt in which there is directly age and it will pull. Because to calculate age, you have to have like the column name will differ, right? There is no certain inbuilt function. You have to write logic in DAX like this. You have to use
Mhm.
some function and then create it.
Okay, so this is a really good function to actually extract the actual current age if we need to actually do something like this is better, right? The
Yeah.
8-day difference. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Any more questions? Anyone? Okay. So I can go ahead and so these are the uh few of the functions that is there under date time, right? And then we have other category which is logical functions, right? If, and, or, like that.
I'm sorry, Mia.
Yeah,
I have one question.
yeah, go
So,
ahead.
what about if we want to, if we want to see the month? We just have
Okay, so if
to
you want to see the
change the
month
year,
instead of year, you have to
month.
pull,
We
yeah,
just have
month.
to change the month.
Yeah, so I showed you, right? There are multiple options out here: day, hour, minute, month, quarter,
Yeah,
second, right?
just have
So
to
you
do
can
that.
select month and then it will work. If you want to see, I can show you. So it's showing me 891, right? So 74 years was there in at that time. If you multiply 74 years to 12, it will give you something, and then there will be like month difference in the month. It was 24/9 and right now we are in 12, so it
Mhm.
will add few of those months and then give you the final result here.
Mm.
Right? So yeah, it's coming out to be 891. I just calculated. So basically, 74 multiplied by 12 is 888, and then it is ninth month and we are in 12th month. So 3 months will be added. So 888 plus 3 will be
Thank you.
891. So that's how the month works. Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
So the second category is logical functions, wherein we use if, and, or, right? So there is one function which is called if. Under if, there are three arguments that we can pass. First is logical test, right? So basically here you will put any condition that you want to be met, and if that condition is true, you can put the second argument wherein it will return value if this logical test is true, and then the third argument will be if this logical test or the condition that you have written is false, then return this particular value. So I can actually show you this in the data set how to create this. So let's say we are in customer lookup, right? Now let's say I create one column here, and then I create a column of something called parent. So what I want to do is in each of these r- rows, if you see there is a column which is called total children, right? So that means each of these customers have some children. If so, what I want to select is whether a particular customer has children or not. In some cases, it might happen that it is zero, right? And in some cases, it might happen that it is one, two, like that, right? So I want to check whether a particular customer is having child or not. So I will tag that as create a column as parent, and then I will see if I will write this if statement, if open parenthesis, and then if you see there are three arguments: logical test, result if true, result if false, right? So under logical test, what I want to check is whether the total children is greater than zero, right? If the total children column, or if this is the value in this row is greater than zero, that means that customer is parent. If that total children is not greater than zero, then then the customer is not a parent, right? So I will write here the logical test would be the children total children column, and the total children is greater than zero. So what it will do, it will check each of these cells. The row by row operation is the way, right? How the calculated column works. So it will pick the first row, it will go to the total children column, and then check whether the value in the first row is greater than 0 or not. So we see that it's 2, right? So if this logic, if this uh, uh, the first argument is true, then it will return me this, which is yes. Result if true, which means if this logical test is true, then return me the second argument, which is this. I have written yes. And and the third argument is result if false. So if this argument is not true, then return me the third value, which is I'm defining as no. Right? And I have put it in parenthesis because these are text. So wherever there is text, we will put that as under inverted comma, and then I will hit enter. So under parent column, we will have values like yes or no. Yes will be tagged to all those rows wherein total children is greater than 0, and no will be tagged to all those rows where the total children is 0. So let's say I select 0 just to show you guys. So for 0, the parent would be written as no, like the value under parent column would be no. And it's if it's apart from 0 any value, it will give me yes. Right? So this is one of the logical functions. By logical functions, what I mean is you can write some logical test or some condition over here in the first argument, and then you can define like if this is true, then what value you want to show. If this is not true, then what value you want to show. Right? So this is one of the functions. If is the function. Any question? Any question, anyone?
No question.
Well, I have a question. I'm just a little bit confused.
Yeah. So what is the question?
Well, I'm trying to analyze it. So if it's greater, if the, can you just kind of go over that just one more time? I'm a little bit lost. So if it's the number of children is greater than 0, you say yes? If
Yeah,
not,
so
no, I
basically
don't.
how it works is uh it will go to the first row, right? Whichever calculated column you will define, it will work row by row, right? So let's say it look into the first row, and then in first row what it will check, it will go to the total children column, because what we have written is the AW customer lookup total children. That means go to the customer lookup table and look for the total children column,
Mhm.
right? So it will go to the total children column, and then it will see whether that value, the first row's value under total children column, is greater than 0 or not, because the logical operation what we have written that total children greater than 0. That means the value under total children column, if that is greater than 0, then we will create a calculated column known as parent, and we will mark that as yes. So the value, if the value is greater than 0, then mark that as yes. If the value is not greater than 0, if this statement is not true, that means if value is equal to 0, then mark that particular row as no.
Mm.
Right? So the way we write it, right, the total children greater than 0, this means that the value under total children column. So it will look into the, go to the total children column, and then it will look for the values in each of the cells, like in each of the row what is the value, and basis on that it will generate a new value under parent column, depending on what is the, if that is satisfying, if this logical test is true, it will, sorry, if this logical test is true, it will give you this value, whatever we will write it here. And if this logical test is not true, it will give me the third argument value, which we will write it here.
Okay, I get it. Now, if we wanted to return the actual number of children that they have, as opposed to just saying yes or no,
Mhm.
can it say yes and then return the number? Like, say if they have 2, then say yes 2, no
Yeah,
0.
yeah, you can do that. You can do that. So in that case, there is something called AND operator that I will talk about. So basically, what you need to do is you need to have something called yes, and I will show you like how it will work. It will be like, and then I will show what is happening here. Not two. Here we will need to write. Yeah. So basically what it is showing is, what I have done is, I will tell you. So if this is true, then return me this. So what it is doing is, it is the and one that you are seeing, right? There is this one I was going to talk about. There is something called and or. So how it works is, and means it will concatenate all the all the values that we will write it over here, right? So what I am telling is, if this condition is true, write yes, and then I want to give one dash operator over here, dash and maybe one space, something like this. So it will give me yes, and after yes I want something as a dash, so I have written and then this as dash. Everything will be under string because this is a text, and then again and I want to return the total number of children what is there in this column, right? So that's why I have written total children, because this is variable column, this will not be always 2, right? In some rows it will be 1, in some rows it will be 0, something like that, right? So in that case, in some rows it will be 5. So in that case, this particular value that you are seeing, 2, 5, 6, 1, all those things are variable. It will change depending on which row you want to see, right? So that's why I have given here AW customer lookup total children, which means that it will pick value from this particular column. So in this case, what will happen? Yes, dash, and then total children, which is 2. If I select, let's say, number 1, instead of 2, I select 1. Sorry. So in that case, what will happen? It will show yes, dash, and 1. Why? Because this is dynamic. So this is taking the total children from this particular column, right? So you can write all these things depending on, there are few operators or few functions that is there that you need to actually understand and remember, right? So in this case, there is something called AND operator, in which you can concatenate multiple values, multiple things in one, right?
Yeah, so when you just changed the total children column to 1, why would you do that? But that's not the correct or the actual data though,
I have
right?
not, I have not changed the total. I have selected one. I will remove this.
Okay, so can you explain to me what you just did? Why did you just change it to 1? Like, why would you do that if
No, I didn't do anything. The column is same. I just wanted to show you that this value will change if the value is here. There are multiple values inside this column, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these values. So I just selected one, or I will just select 4 to show you if there is value as 4, it will show me yes dash 4. So this value 4, 2, 1 is dynamic.
The
That's
number of
what I wanted
children.
to show you.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not changed anything. All the rows are intact. I just I have filtered that row to show you like this will change depending on what value is present under total children column.
So that basically just changed. It filtered the number of children those particular people have. Is that what that is? Like some parents have 4 children, some have 2. So that's you selected the one with 4 children. Is that what you did? Or when you did one, you selected one
Yes,
parents with
yes.
one kid. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just asking too many questions, but I'm just trying to
So that's
understand.
totally fine since this is the first time you guys are going on. So it's absolutely right to ask as many questions as you have. Then only like you will understand everything, right? So that's fine.
Okay, thank
No problem. So this is how like we have created one of the like we have used one of the function which is if. We have already used and, but I will discuss that. So there are two functions which is called and there is one function and the other function is or, right? So what does it mean? And takes two logical argument, which is logical 1, logical 2, which means like it will take two arguments over here, and or will also take two arguments and not more than that. So the drawback of this function is it can have like only two arguments. You can't put like multiple arguments inside. If you have two arguments and if you want to see check both the things, both the arguments, then you have to use and or. But the I will show you like how to use. Let me quickly show that, and then I will tell the drawback also of using that. Let me create something called under calendar lookup. I will create something called uh, what I will do is I Saturday or Sunday are weekends, right? And Monday to Friday are weekdays, right? So in the case you want to create something called weekend, you want to tag the row which is Saturday as weekend and Sunday as weekend and rest of the day as, let's say, weekday, right? So what we will do, I will create one calculated column known and the name of that column is weekend. And what I will do, I will use if, and then under if the logical test, right? So I will put one uh, one condition over here, right? Uh, I will use, let's say, or function. Under or function, I will put day of week we have just created, right? If the day of week is equal to 6, logical one means the first argument. If day of week is 6, 6 denotes Saturday, right? So if the day of week is Saturday, comma, if the day of week is Sunday, which is 7. So, and then close the parenthesis. So what does OR function do? OR function checks whether the first condition is true or the second condition is true. If either of any of the condition is true, then I will put comma because this is the condition or is the condition, the first argument that we have passed under if function. This is a if function. The first argument we have passed. So if either of these is true, then we will tag that as weekend. And if either of these values are false, then we will tag them as weekday. That means if it's not either 6 or 7, then put the value under this column as weekday, right? I will hit enter and you will see it has been tagged, right? So since it's Friday, first 2016, it is tagged as weekday. Saturday, then weekend, Sunday, then weekend, and others are weekday. Then again weekend will come, right? So this is how you can use OR function also. So OR function is basically it will take two argument and it will check either if either of the argument is correct or not, then in this case it will give you weekend or weekday, right? But the drawback of this using OR function or AND function is you can put only two argument. If in case you want to look into, let's say I want to say if my day of week is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or yeah till 5, then tag it as weekday, otherwise weekend. So this won't work because you can't pass the third argument over here. There is only option of passing two argument in this. So we can write this OR function in other ways also. Instead of writing OR as a function, what you can do is you can see here what I have mentioned is use this double, we call it as pipe. Use this if you want to use more than two conditions. So if you have like more than two conditions, use this symbol. So instead of writing or like this, what I will do, I can write that as this also. That means if day of week is 6 or if day of week is 7, then write weekend, otherwise weekday. The good part is you can write as many condition as in here using this pipe symbol. Like there is no constraint of using only two argument using pipe symbol. But if you will use or as a function, then you can pass only two argument. So it's always better to use pipe instead of or function. Both will work the same way. It's just that in the or function there is a constraint of passing only two argument, and in pipe you can pass as many functions as like as many arguments as you want, right? So that's how we have tagged as weekday or weekend. Any questions in this one? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? Any question? Okay. So I'll take that as yeah, like no questions. Then similarly, what we can do is we can create we can use like one more similar to OR function. We have something called AND function, right? So instead of if you have like more than two, you can use I think I put two. This is use and if you want to use more than two conditions, right? So I will create one of the column using AND function. Okay. So in here, what I want to do is I want to create a full name by combining prefix, first name and last name, right? So here, what we can do is we can uh, combine multiple columns using AND, right? And function like and operator that is there. So what I will do, I will select prefix. Prefix is the first column that I want to have. I want to basically concatenate all the three columns, right? Which is Mr. Blake, Floors, all these three columns. So I will take prefix, I will write and then after and I will write first name, then and then I will write last name. So it will give me the full name, right? But the problem here is, since we have not put any of the hyphen in between, it's like it is looking like little weird. So what we will do, instead of putting like this, we will put one few uh, space also, right, before each of these. So you can write as many things under these by using AND operator. So what it will do, it will pick first column, which is called prefix, the value under first column. Okay, so the value under prefix for the first row is, the value under first row is Mr., right? So it will pick Mr. and then there is space and double quotes. So it will give you one space after Mr. and then it will again pick the first name. So value under first name. So it will pick Blake and then after that again one space after Blake, and then that last argument is last name. So it will pick value under last name. So under full name, it will give you Mr. space Blake space floors. So that's what you are seeing over here. Mr. space Blake space floors. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone, any question? Aklilu, Muhammad, you guys are clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, City, any question?
No question.
Okay. So there are a few more functions. I think this will take time. Maybe we can cover this in another session. But yeah, so we have covered date and time function and logical function. So this is how if and like this is how these functions work. And these are the few things that you can use in as we have created, right? If function just now in this one, parent, right? So here also we have used AND operator. So you can use these operators anywhere if you want. So these are very flexible, and you can actually write the formulas in more complex way. Whatever you want to do, you can do that inside this using these, right? So these are few good operators that you can remember if you want to concatenate multiple columns, or if you want to concatenate few of the values that you want to put in a certain column. You can use these operators, and operators, or operators, all these things, right? So yeah, these are the few functions that we discussed today. I'll discuss some more functions. These again, a text function will be used in calculated column. And then the second thing would come as sum, average, max, min, divide, all these. So these are used, won't be used under a calculated column. These will be used under measures, right? Because under measure is used for aggregation, right? Uh, Measure doesn't work row by row. It works on the entire table in one go, and it will aggregate uh, all the values in the rows. So for that we need some aggregation function, which is sum, average, min, max, and all those things, right? So these are the functions that we use basically in measure, and then we use that thing into the visualization. So we will discuss these functions also in our next lecture. Okay, so using that, like we can create multiple using those functions, we can create multiple measures, some complex measures also. So we will discuss all those things. And there is something called a concept called related. So the related is a function which you can use to pull any of the column from one table to another. So that is also one of the concept and very good function that we use usually to create like visualizations and all of those. So we will discuss about that function also, which is called related. So all these things we will discuss in our next class. And like there are multiple functions. It might take two class for us to discuss, but there are something called count function in which you want to see count, distinct count. Then there is something called calculate, sum x. There are a few time intelligence formulas. So we will discuss all those things. So yeah, so for today, any questions, anyone? Otherwise, we can wrap today's session and we will connect again on uh, Monday. But for us, Mohammed, it will be Tuesday. Tuesday, 7
Sure.
a.m.
Yeah.
So any question, anyone? If no question, then thank you. I'll share this recording with you guys, and you can